Get it.
Hey, I'm Morgan.
And it's the one and only Kira Simone, and you are tuned into
At the end of the day. So, today on episode 3, we're going to talk about men and accountability. How come in our society we do not hold men accountable? And also, we're going to take a brief look at gatekeeping. Gatekeeping is such a common thing in our society, especially with women that take interest inside of activities that most guys like. Mm-hmm. So, we're going to take a glimpse at that today. So first, we're going to talk about society and the standards of men.
Where do you want to start with that? I feel like with men, it's so many standards because I feel like at one point, not at one point in time, still we're living in a male-dominated world, but then it's coming up to where you have so many women who are like coming out to the forefront, whether it's with music, the medical field, politics. You see so many women like coming up and showing out, and it's just like, is standards of men shifting? Do we think that standards of men are shifting? Because it seems like a lot of women are stepping up as a whole. Just stepping up as a whole. So it's almost like the standards of a man is shifting. Because, I mean, let's be real, how many women, go around and say, like, I don't need a man?
A lot of people do. Because, honestly, we've always been taught, like, be this, be that, do this, do that. Be someone's peace. And versus, like, you hear guys, and they're just, like, ruin her life.
Yeah. it's like with men, it's like they really, it's like, I don't want to say men don't have structure.
But a lot of people aren't, like, taught structure or given structure.
Because I feel like with men, when they grow up, it's like, well, he's a boy. I'm going to slap a helmet on him. He's going to go play football. That's where he's going to learn everything. Yeah, he's going to come back, and that's just going to be it. It's like you can't raise men. And that's another thing that, like, men, that's why men kind of, certain men, I'm not going to say all men, certain men act the way they do because it's just like they weren't taught anything because they were always playing sports. Like, I feel like once a boy plays sports, like, nobody cares what he does. Nobody cares.
Oh, girl, high school?
A high school football player can do whatever he plays.
Dumb as dirt, got a 2-point.
Nothing.
Right. And just like flying through every class. Don't ever come to class. And they're just like, oh my gosh, he's going to be in the NFL. And where are most of those people now? Kroger.
There's nothing wrong with Kroger.
Ain't nothing wrong with Kroger.
But
ain't nothing wrong. I love Kroger, but it's just like.
But yeah, like, I just feel like as a society, we don't hold men accountable for their actions, especially men of high positions.
For example, our president, all those allegations against him, still became president. Wasn't even qualified. Never served as a politician, but somewhat, he made it. That's another story. That's
another story for another day. We can definitely do an episode on politics, though. But back to men holding men accountable. Yeah, we just don't hold men accountable as a whole for their actions. It's always,
he's still a boy. They'll be like 36. Nah, he a boy. 52. He's a boy. He's just a boy. That's a grown.
That's a grown man. That's another, and don't let it be like a man. And there's nothing wrong with like being a man who loves his mother. But mothers sometimes coddle their sons to the point that they are not independent. And it's just like when your parent doesn't hold you accountable, how do you expect you're gonna run through the world because the person supposed to hold you accountable first? Because people don't realize a lot of stuff starts at home. So if you're at home getting away with things, how are you supposed to operate in the world? And that's what happens with a lot of women with their sons. She allowed him to do whatever he wanted to do his entire life.
But now daughters, they don't get away with anything.
Daughters can't get away with anything, but as a son, he got to do whatever he wanted to do in that household. So how do you expect him to do whatever he wants to do in the household and out in the real world he's going to be just like this perfect citizen? No, a lot of things start at home, and a lot of men are coddled by their mothers to the point that when they go out in the real world, they do what they want to do.
And they expect every woman to treat him like his mother did.
And I'm definitely not going to do that because you're not my child, period. And
because unless that's your baby, you can't change him.
You cannot change. You cannot. Lesson of the day: you cannot change a man who does not want to be changed. Ditto.
And leave that to his mom.
And if you leave it to her, it'll never get done because she see, especially women who see no wrong in their sons, like
they'll just protect him in everything.
At everything, and it's just like, when you gonna let him fall? A big example, like, what are some examples you think of men not being held accountable? Because it's definitely the Tristan Thompson one.
Yeah, definitely. People who cheat, they want to sit there and attack the woman in the situation. It's like she wasn't in the relationship. And on certain occasions, they may not even know that a person was in a relationship.
Exactly. Like, now, in no way, shape, or form are we condoning
at all
women who sleep around with men in relationships.
Side chicks are.
That's a big no-no. But what I am saying is, at some point, like, I just feel like when situations like that arise, they don't hold the man accountable at all. It's just like, well, she knew he was in a relationship. Okay, just
but
like
he was in the relationship.
You know, granted, if she knew she's still going with Satan, Lucifer, she's still gonna travel with him. But he need to go just like she need to go, for the simple fact, just like she knew he was in a relationship. Mm-hmm. He also knew he was in a relationship, and he chose to step out of that. And he needs to be getting the same treatment she is getting, just like with Jordan and Tristan and Chloe. Chloe was all like, you ruined my family, you broke up my family.
They've been broken up for a few months. That
man
been single for a while now.
First of all, Tristan was all out. They did all that to Jordan, and for Tristan to turn around and be out with a whole nother girl. Honey, you cannot keep a man unless he want to be kept. Mm-hmm. And then he don't want to be kept, and for everybody just to be coming at Jordan like that, I just felt like that was just so whack to me. Like, everybody was just like jumping down her throat. Like, granted, she shouldn't have been doing what she was doing.
But honestly, it's because she's a black girl.
We
know
that.
Uh-huh.
But with just men not being held accountable for the actions, especially men of higher, like I said before, men of high positions. Like, think about so many men in the entertainment industry that people are just saving. Like, people are like saving these men. Like, no, he didn't do that. They just want this. They just want that. And it's just like, at what point are we gonna stop blaming women for problems that men create? Because that's all it is. I'm not gonna.
They'll blame our clothes. They'll blame where we've been. They'll bring up something that might have happened to you 10 years ago, and they're like, well, that's why she had XYZ happen to her, especially with like things like assaults. But we hear so many artists that like get in trouble for like assault,
yes,
and then the record labels will get them off. For example, Kodak Black. The only reason he's not in prison right now is because his record label saved him. And you look at R. Kelly right now, the only reason that he might go to prison, because he may not get a fair trial in Chicago, is because his record label is not going to invest any more money into him because there's no point in saving him. What has he done in like the past 3 years that's really popped off? He hasn't made $1 million besides like doing a bunch of shows.
The thing that bothers me with this whole R. Kelly situation, and once again it goes back to holding men accountable, people feel like because he's R. Kelly, he would never do that. Those girls were young, they were just hot, they wanted to come up, they wanted this.
But it's like, listen.
But it's like, listen.
A 15-year-old girl.
He married a 15-year-old girl, and let's not act like he didn't play on this girl's emotions. Let's not act like that either. Like, if people act like, well, they was young, they're doing this, they're doing that. He played on those little girls. I don't want to say little girls. They're still 15. They're not little girls. But he played on
the young ladies.
They are young women, and he played on their emotions, and then that's how he got them. And it's just like people are like trying to take up for him. It's just like, you can't. It's like, look, we all have jammed out to R. Kelly, but at some point he has to be held accountable for his actions. He cannot be fornicating with young women. He is a old man. He's going on 50 years old, sleeping he's 54 and been sleeping with these girls since they were in their early teens. Late teens. You cannot do that. I don't care how much music you make. At some point you have to take away from the artist and look at him as a person and see that what he is doing is wrong. Like,
and like a lot of older men, like what you said, playing off emotions, they do that with like us because you know stuff that you can't necessarily do to a strong, level-headed woman who's like over 20 or over 25, because at that point they're not going to deal with the mess. Versus you have us, we're like between like the age of like 13, 18, you can really say anything to a young girl and really like persuade her, like, oh, you're so mature for your age, and you gassing them up, and they're like, oh yeah, and You know, like when I was in high school, we had a lot of people. My school opened up in 2007. There were guys that were coming in from graduated like 2008, 2009, coming to the homecoming events, and we're class of 2016. You don't know anybody there unless you have a sibling. You have no business being at a high school game.
Period.
Do you see that too in high school? And like everybody's like, "Oh, my boyfriend, he's 25."
It's no reason why a man over 25 should be talking to, but once again, they're gonna blame the girl because she's quote unquote hot or she's quote unquote fast. At some point, y'all. At some point, when is a little girl? At some point, when is a woman gonna stop being fast? We're gonna start taking account for these men that are sick. It's no reason why a 25-year-old should be dating anybody 20. It should be dating anybody younger than 21, and that's just it. You should not be 18 dating a 25-year-old. It should be nothing attractive about an 18-year-old to a 25-year-old man. Like at 18, what do you really have going on that you did for yourself? Like it's nothing that should besides her being pretty or whatever. What are you getting out of this girl? Like men, like I just feel like with situations like that, they don't hold these men accountable, and it's just like situations that are gonna keep arising and keep happening. And like another thing you said earlier about like when it comes to sexual assault, it's always on women. How are you going to blame a woman for something that a man did? It's always, well, she was dressed like this. She was drunk. What does a woman drinking or a woman being dressed a certain way have to do with that man sexually assaulted her? It doesn't. It's nothing rational that you can tell me that a woman can do for a man to sexually assault her. Period. That shit is just out of the question.
All right, so now let's talk about the power struggle that we're starting to have in our society. As women begin to progress and get their college degrees, advance inside of society, and more doors are being opened up for women, we're noticing a shift where guys are just like, you know what, I'm just done with women, point blank, period, as we see this power shift. So how do you feel about that?
I just think I like to relate a lot of things. I'm real heavy on music, so I relate a lot of like stuff like this to music and the music industry. And it's crazy because you see so many like female rappers just like
they're so good nowadays. They're honestly all the female rappers coming up. None of the guys currently out have anything on them.
Period. Like period. City girls. I don't care. I love the city girls. Period. But like. There ain't nobody really like on their level right now, and it's just like you see a lot of men. I'm just like, what y'all gonna come up with next? You see
the same thing: drugs, big booty girl, blah blah blah.
You know, and it's like the girls are coming out and they showing you like, look, we're here.
Especially these Twitter rappers.
These Twitter girls on the phones,
in the cars, in the parking lot,
in the parking lot, like.
So good.
They are awesome, and I love it because it's just like it's like women are really coming up and doing their own thing now. Like they're not waiting on a man to do anything for them, and it's just so empowering. And then so many black women are starting their own businesses and stuff, and really just showing like not necessarily I don't need a man, but I can do so much for myself now.
And you can do it too.
And you can do it too.
Seeing another woman being successful, it's like I can do that too. Because like when we think about for like us in our generation, like we grew up watching Oprah, and now we have like so many people like we're doing our own thing right now. And then you have like other people, actresses and whatnot, they're doing their own thing. Little girl from Blackish, her name is Marcia. She has her own production company underneath Universal, and it's like it makes you have chills because it's like this girl's 14 and look at what she's doing.
That picture she posted on her Instagram with her cup, I was like, yes, she is awesome, like awesome, like. She used to be. She's still on Blackish. Remember when she first got on Blackish?
Yes.
They were like,
I love her character.
They were like, what, 6 when they first got on Blackish?
I have no idea, but it's just so, we're watching them grow up. Were they like 9? The show's been on for a good minute now.
I didn't realize how long Blackish has been on. But yes, it's just like, they're coming. It's like women are coming up and doing their own thing, and it's just like not necessarily pushing men out the way, but it's saying like
creating our own.
Create your own lane. You're creating your.
Stay in your lane.
Stay like when leave it on. That's another thing. Once you create your own lane, it's so easy to stay in it because once you create it, it's yours and you can stay in it, and then
you can curve it any way you want to.
You can blossom, pop out. So it's just like women coming up doing their own thing nowadays. It's just so inspiring and it's powerful and it's beautiful, especially black women.
All these hair companies coming out, black women creating their own beauty supply stores. We don't have to be harassed and followed inside the stores anymore. We have our own stuff.
Yes.
Like inside, if you're in the like Stockbridge area, there's this beauty supply store, Kova Beauty, owned by a black woman. It's so pretty. It's so nice. Got nice little hardwood floors. The shelves are not gonna cave in on you. And then we have like cosmetic companies. Rihanna's doing it with Fenty Beauty. We have so many different other ones like sub things. But it's just like we've always been forgotten about. And now it's just like, oh, we don't need you. You need us. Mm-hmm. Look at us.
And it's great. It's great that you bring up like that we're forgotten about, because it's just like now you can't forget us. Like
we're everywhere.
You know, at one point it was just like women don't do anything. Black women, you know, they were so hard on us. They're just like, look.
We're the trendsetters.
Can't nobody do nothing for us, so we're gonna do it for ourselves. And I think that is just amazing.
You can give us like 2 cents and we make a whole $1.
Tell me about it. It's just amazing just to see, you know. So power is definitely shifting. You know, we're just running the world.
Like politics too. Stacey Abrams, she might run for president.
It's so many women who are thinking about running for the presidential election, and it's like
I'm gonna vote for you.
It's I've seen like it's like what 2 or 3 women running.
Right now, 1.
Mm-hmm.
It might be 2 in the next few weeks. Could be more. I know like a few more guys are. Bernie Sanders wants to run. I'm like, bruh, I like him, but at this point, it's like age, health. You have to take that in consideration. Mm-hmm. Could you do 2 terms?
Okay, since we're on presidential elections, I just want to say that Joe Biden has declared his run for the 2020 election.
I'm a little worried about that.
Why?
You gotta, I forgot. I have to show you afterward. Anita Hill, look up Joe Biden and Anita Hill on YouTube and then watch that. Because they're going to bring that up. Because, if y'all aren't familiar with Anita Hill, what's his name? There's a black guy on the Supreme Court. He's a conservative. He's really irritating. I forgot his name. But basically, she accused him of sexual assault, and they berated her and degraded her. Mm-hmm. And what we saw like last year with Kavanaugh, I think, when he got accepted into the Supreme Court, they were very soft on her versus like Anita Hill. And so Anita Hill is a black woman. And so when they bring that up, and then they bring that up to like the black community, because a lot of us, he's benefiting off of Barack Obama's presidency, because with us, we're just like, oh, he's the cool uncle. But in reality, he's a lot of stuff. He has a lot of skeletons, like most politicians, but it may not be pretty.
I'm going to pray for Joe. So let's get back on topic. So let's talk about toxic masculinity.
So toxic masculinity is basically like
on my Twitter. I mean to cut you off, but on my Twitter, folks should definitely know what this is. But if you don't, Morgan, let's explain it.
So toxic masculinity is basically this thought process of what it takes to be a man, and it's like gatekeeping manhood. Like men should be violent, men should be hypersexual, men should sleep with everything, men shouldn't treat each other with respect. If a man is threatening you, that you should beat him up or whatever. And this mindset has led so many men, especially black men, into the gateway of prison and spending a lifetime in prison because they can't control their emotions. Toxic masculinity basically is like a masquerade of tearing down all types of emotion and just focusing on the negative. And when we have this really kind of focuses on why men aren't held accountable, is because basically they're treated like animals. Or being told like, don't think with your brain, think with your penis. You know
that, and don't forget that like when some men grow up, they're taught that emotions are a sign of weakness. A lot of men grow up.
It's okay to cry.
Like yes, like a lot of men, we have to realize so many men grow up, and when they grow up, they're told like, don't cry. That's a sign of weakness. If you're showing emotions, that's a sign of weakness. Just like before you were a man, you were a human, and being human means you have to show emotions. Like you can't hold that in, and there's so many men harboring stuff from their childhood, a lot of pain, and nobody says anything to them because once again, showing emotions is a sign of weakness for them. And That's just, first of all, it's not healthy. Like, what type of human needs to hold in their emotions?
This is why men have a shorter life expectancy than women. Because we cry. We're allowed to cry and be emotional with each other.
There's so many men going through, like, mental struggles. Especially men are... I can't talk. Men who, like, are impoverished, are in poverty,
and
like
been through things
have been through things. Men who are, like, heavily in the streets. People don't understand that a lot of those men go through, like, some of those men have, like, war stories and nobody says anything
they
because
have a lot of PTSD.
Like, come on, a lot of, especially men who seen, like, think about how many men that are in the streets have seen people die in front of them at young ages, like. That people don't want to say anything about it because of the situation and where they're at, but it's just like, what? It's just like something distracted me. I have to get this attention span in check. But yeah, like, people don't understand, but like, it's just so much help that men need when it comes to mental stuff, and don't nobody want to help them because, oh, they're men. Like, they can deal with it. They're strong, but at some point, even the strong get weak, and the strong need somebody to help. And men don't need to hold that type of stuff in. Like, that's not healthy at all.
But one thing that needs to be normalized is that there is strength in being vulnerable.
Yes.
Because it takes a lot to open yourself up and show someone, like, this is who I am. This is what's happened to me. I want to do better. And, like, pouring yourself out. That's a lot. That shows a lot of strength because you're like naked in a sense. Because you're taking down all your barriers and your walls and everything that you built up around yourself.
And I wish men would, like not only confide in other men, but like let's make men have a safe space for each other. And also, as a woman, a lot of women do this. If a man comes to you very vulnerable, you do not use that as a means to throw that back up in his face. A lot of women do that.
I hate when people do that, especially on reality TV. Like, oh, remember when you did da-da-da-da? Remember you told me da-da-da? And everybody starts laughing. It's just like, you might have been the first person they opened up to.
So, like, if a man, because once again, men are taught that emotions are not something that they're supposed to show at any time. So if a man, as a woman, if a man comes to you and his emotions he's showing you raw emotion, that is not the time for you to throw that back up in his face. Like, so... It's okay for a man to be vulnerable. It's okay for a man to cry. And it's also another thing that men, like, don't realize that's toxic. A lot of men are nasty.
They don't take care of themselves.
A lot of men are nasty, and they're taught, like, oh, that's gay. That is not gay. First of all,
wiping your butt is not gay.
Like, I don't understand where people get this whole thing about, like, calling stuff gay.
Oh, when you go scroll through Twitter, you're just like,
what? Like, men are like, I don't get my nails and feet done because that's gay.
And they be ass shit.
That does not make you gay. Taking care of yourself does not. The only thing that
hygiene is beautiful.
Hygiene is not a sign of homosexuality. The only thing that makes you gay is being gay. But, like, as far as, like, taking care of yourself, that's not a trade-off. That's not a sign of homosexuality.
Do you want to live?
Like, that's not a sign of homosexuality.
Like, do y'all want to live?
A lot of men don't drink water either. I think that's disgusting.
They don't wash. Some guys, they don't, like, wash until they start smelling bad.
And that's horrible.
That's just...
Like, some men don't, like, a lot of men I know, like, not men I know, but some men don't bathe every day. They don't drink water. That's another thing, man. You have to drink water. And there's nothing wrong with, like, taking care of your skin and taking care of your nails and your feet and your body. Like, that stuff.
That's your body.
That's your body. You have to, you only get, like, people are serious when they say you only get one body. You need to take care of it.
It's a temple. Lord, so y'all are degrading your temples.
Like,
and then they want to talk about women's bodies.
That's another thing.
Oh,
it's just like, it's okay to, like, take care of yourself.
Just hygiene, overall health. Because when you think about what's the number one killer for men, I think for black men is actually heart attacks and your diet. They just sit there and eat everything. You can't consume everything. You can't eat all the freaking burgers. You can't have a barbecue every weekend. Vegetables, some.
Y'all, I thought Morgan was gone. Yeah, men do a very poor job and stuff like that.
But also, like, we also have to look at us as a community, as a society, how we, like, treat men, how we treat them from, like, birth. Because when some people, they find out, oh, they're having a baby, like, oh, that's a man, that's my boy. They're like, no, that's a baby. He's delicate. And then they're, like, aggressive towards a toddler. Like, that's a child. It's a small child. You can't push him. You can't throw stuff at him. Yeah, you should make sure that both your daughters and your sons are like a tough exterior and they're not easily broken down by other people.
Mm-hmm.
But y'all can't be abusing y'all's kids. Y'all can't be throwing stuff at them like, oh, he a man, he'll take it. That's a boy. That is a little boy.
That's another, and that goes back to the whole emotion thing. Like, let kids, like it doesn't matter what gender they are. Like, let kids be kids. Like, people try to like make their kids so tough, so little, and that's how you create a violent person. Like, if all you do is curse and yell at them as children, how do you think that's gonna affect them as an adult? Especially men. Especially black men. Black men are already seen as aggressors in the world anyway. So don't make him grow up to be evil.
Don't groom him to be that way.
Don't groom him to be that way. You know, like you said before, make sure that he knows what's right and what's wrong. And people should not know your worth, and make sure that people don't roll over you and talk to you crazy and learn respect. But for you to make him grow up to be an aggressor, that's not okay, because that's only going to lead him in certain places. And that is places that we don't need our black men to be.
Places like death,
jail. He walking around being aggressive and stuff. That is not okay. He needs to relax himself. He needs to know how to calm down. And that's another thing. Like, we have to teach boys all together, like, ways to diffuse situations, not make them bigger than what they are.
Use your mind, not your fist.
Yes, because that'd be the first
Love
thing.
each other, hug each other.
Yes.
Guys have so much built up against them. Like, come together, unite, and love each other.
Yes.
Be soft, be delicate.
Support.
That's one thing we keep talking about. It's like supporting each other.
Because support is so necessary. People don't understand, like, when you have, like, because you're going to have those days where you feel down and you don't feel like your best self. So having somebody there to support you and know that they're there for you and pick you up. And that's why it's so important for guys to have friends. Like, guys, like, and another
who want good for them.
Who are good for them. That's another reason why. But guys have better, in my opinion, like, when they are in good, solid friendships, guys have better friendships than girls, I think.
They gossip a lot. They know everything.
Men do gossip. People don't realize that. Men are very gossip. Men aren't messy. That's what it is. Men aren't messy.
Are you sure?
Are you sure? I feel like men aren't as messy as women. Like, okay, granted, they gonna sit. I feel like men sit in their own little thing and like they gossip, but like that gossip really don't lead their group. Now, men do talk a lot. Cause men a lot.
Want some tea? Ask a guy.
Oh, you get all the
juicy tea, just mouth-watering tea.
Child, I know about a lot. I'm just playing. Honey, I know so much from men. Will take that. You need some good, as a girl, you need good friends that are guys. Like, just a genuine guy friend. Oh my God, I got a lot. When you have genuine friends that are men, you hear so much stuff. Like, whoa, like, no, she didn't, but yes, she did. You get a lot of tea from men. Men know everything.
So yeah, we're gonna combat toxic masculinity with strong friendships.
Strong friendships.
And love. And
yes.
Yes.
Accountability, support, and strong friendships. That is awesome.
We're gonna shake up society here.
At the end of the day, we'll shake up society. You heard it here first. You heard it on the speaker app first. We will shake up society.
We're changing the world one Wednesday at a time.
One Wednesday at a time. I love it.
All right, y'all. Well, we're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna see you guys here next Wednesday, 12:30 on the dot.
Once again, I'm the one and only Kira Simone.
I'm Morgan.
And you have just tuned in to the end of the day. See you guys next Wednesday.
Bye.